Welcome back to Midday. We are joined by Brody White from Spruce, Goose, Chop and Block. It's great to have you back on the show.
Thank you, Susan.
Yes, look at all the stuff that we're doing today. We're talking about hearty broths, and when it gets cold out, we all like a nice soup. But Brody's going to tell us a little bit about the importance of why you should be making your own stock and broth.
Yeah, for sure. There's a number of different reasons, and it's not just about making soups to warm us up in the wintertime. There's a bunch of different kinds. So you're going from beef bone broths to chicken stocks, and then just to a hearty meat broth. There's lots of different kinds, and they're all a bunch of different uses. So.
And this is something you can make ahead and then freeze, and then when you're ready to make a soup, you can pull it out, right?
Definitely,
okay.
Definitely. And it's a great way to use the whole animal. So because we use for everything from carcass at the store, it's a great way for us to utilize the bones and the pork skin and the pork feet and things like that. Do a little bit of meat thrift, if you like to call it.
Absolutely, right? You're making use of the whole animal. I think that's very important, and people are really conscientious of that right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's, can we get a little close-up of what's going on here? Or?
Yeah, so there's a few different kinds of stocks and broths going on here. We'll start at the front. This is a very simple pork stock, so it's going to be simmered for 4 to 6 hours. I've got some pig's feet in here, some of the bones from the neck, just like that. I cut them up a little bit before I make the stock. And then actually I've got some pork skin in here as well. That gives a nice rich texture to the stock. So you'll have a little bit more mouthfeel, and it won't be just a thin water, basically.
Sure.
Over here we have a chicken broth. So broth is made with primarily meat with some bone. So we've got
look at this. There's a whole chicken in this broth. This is amazing. What will become of the chicken once his duty is fulfilled here?
The idea is two separate things here. So you get the broth to use in a soup, or if you just want to drink it for something to warm you up. And then you take the meat. You could do a little stew with it. You can make a chicken pot pie with it. You can do a lot of things, but you can make a chicken salad for that matter.
Sure. You wouldn't want to waste it, right?
No, definitely not. It's you're cooking the broth and you're taking the flavor out of it and using that flavor.
Okay, and so these both look like vegetable ones to me. What's the difference?
Well, no, there's meat in both of these. Oh. I'm a butcher, so.
Whoops, not a vegetarian here today.
This one is a beef bone broth. So bone broth is something that's came up recently. The health benefits that are from it. So it's simmered for 24 to 48 hours. So much longer than a stock or a normal broth, where you're just getting infused liquid. This, you're really trying to extract all the vitamins and minerals from the bones, so you can obviously eat them and get those health benefits from them. Very good for you.
How long do you know though to boil it to make sure that you are getting the optimum amount of stuff out of
the bone broth? I mean, it's well documented. Anything over 24 hours.
Okay,
I've heard of some people going like just putting their slow cooker on, having the bones in there, some vegetables. When they take a cup out to drink it or use it, they add a cup of water and they just let it go all week. So, and it's just kind of a perpetual stock thing, which is a great way to do it. You get 100% yield out of that for sure.
For sure. Okay.
This is a stock, again simmered 4 to 6 hours, but it's a little bit more flavor specific. So, like if you were just doing a generic pork stock, you would have it in the fridge or the freezer for if you're just gonna do some sautéing or cook a meal to use the stock. So you don't know what you're gonna use it for. You're just making the stock to use up the products that you have. This is a little bit more use specific. So we've got some Asian flavors in there. We've got lemongrass, green onion, ginger. I've got a little bit of soy in there. Fennel. So I'm going to be making a soup, so you can make ramen broth, like a ramen soup out of it, or pho. Pho is beef based, so the same idea except with beef bones.
Delish. Okay. So anything else you want to talk about in the segment? We are going to have a second segment after this, but what else do you want to talk about?
Just what I've got up here. These are some of the common ingredients that you would use in broths and stock. So here I have pork neck bones. Lots of flavor, lots of collagen in those. Lots of collagen in these pig's feet. When I say collagen, it's that texture that comes out in the soup.
That is a straight up pig's foot right there. Look, you can see the toes.
Cut in half just to be a little bit dramatic, but lots of collagen, lots of connective tissue.
Let's just hold that up. Look at the inside of I've just never seen that. Interesting.
Yeah, lots of flavor, and you got to use it, right?
You do, absolutely.
Over here in the beef side of things, we've got a beef knuckle bone. This is a round bone, so it's out of the front quarter. And then we've got some oxtail, which is basically beef tail.
So this is oxtail, but it's not actually from an ox, it's from a cow.
Yeah.
I would hold one up, but I don't know if I'm, look at that, the
There you
big
go.
the bone's right through the middle.
Yeah.
And then again, you call this a knuckle bone, but
Knuckle bone.
where would you find this on the cow?
It's basically the knee joint.
The knee joint.
Yeah.
No kidding.
On the hind legs. And then I've got some marrow bones here as well.
Marrow bones.
Yeah.
Where is that from?
Those are from that's the femur.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are using all parts of the animal.
Yeah, exactly.
Without a doubt.
And then just carrots, onions, and celery. That's the mirepoix. Again, a standard base when you're doing just very neutral broths and stocks. It's always 2 parts onions to 1 part carrot and 1 part celery.
Fantastic. Awesome. So we've learned a little bit about broth. How good is it? How long is it to freeze? How long can you keep it frozen?
You could probably freeze it for up to a year,
Really?
as long as you reboil it when you bring it out. Fresh, it's got about 4 to 6 days of a shelf life on it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, great education here. Lots of stuff going on. We are going to talk more, though, with Brody when we come back after a quick break. Stay with us. Welcome back to Midday. Brody White joining us from Spruce, Goose, Chop and Block. It's great to have you on the show. We were talking about broth a few minutes ago. Now we're going to talk about grass-fed beef. And I think a lot of people don't know the difference between grain-fed and grass-fed.
Yeah, absolutely. So the fundamental difference obviously is that right now we finish beef on grain. So we ship the beef to Alberta, and it gets finished in a feedlot. There, where it's barley, oats, and things of that nature. Whereas we focus now, because it's the fall, it's that time of year, on grass-fed beef. They've had all spring, summer, and fall to fatten up on grass and get really healthy out there. And that's when we choose to process our grass-fed beef.
Okay, so there are arguably more health benefits to
Yes.
eating grass-fed beef over grain-fed.
Yeah, the biggest one is the ratio of omega-3 fatty acids. There's up to 3 times more omega-3 fatty acids in grass-fed beef, along with many other vitamins and nutrients that you just don't find when you finish them on grain.
Do you think as a result of this knowledge becoming more public, we'll see more of this happening eventually?
I
or-
already do. There's huge demand for it, and the biggest issue for me is explaining because it's a more longer drawn-out process of grass-fed, grass-finished beef. It takes a full year to finish a beef on grass. Whereas a prime steer would take 90 days to finish on grain.
Okay.
So you really have to plan your freezer out with it. So
For
right
sure.
now we've brought in a bunch of grass-fed beef from Indian Gardens Ranch. We're really pushing it right now. I suggest if you want to switch to grass-fed beef, you get on the program, you bulk buy, and we'll have it again next fall.
So you literally go up there. Here's a shot of you in your white lab coat, as you
Yeah.
call it, and you are heading out towards a bunch of cattle here, grass-fed.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your relationship with this company.
Yeah, Indian Gardens Ranch is a very well-known ranching family in the Kamloops area. It's the Haywood farmers. I personally work with Ted Haywood Farmer. I think he's the one closest to the water there on the right-hand side, and that's his mom and dad. There's a family operation. So basically, they're trying to shift their program to a little bit more of a sustainable and healthy operation, and I make up a very small part of that because they're a ranch with
So many.
thousands of head
yes.
of beef, and I've got 8 right now, which is nothing, but it's a start, right?
Right, and you know what? Cool to see that we here in Kamloops are using local operations for our food, and this is another great example. No matter how small scale it is, if everybody starts doing this, what a difference it will make.
Absolutely.
And a lot of restaurants buy locally or within the 100-mile program.
Yeah. So we get these. Ted took the beef out yesterday to KML Meats in Westwold to process the beef.
Yeah.
And then I take it from KML and I break it down and I do the sides, quarters, mixed quarters, bulk packs, and all that kind of thing.
That's awesome. Anything else you'd like to pass on? We
Well,
probably
there-
got about 30 seconds.
There's lots of information about it on our website, on our Facebook page. Now's the time to, if you want to get into our grass-fed beef program, please do check us out. Sides, quarters, mixed quarters. It seems like a lot to take on, but that's going to be your beef for the next year, hopefully.
And how nice is that to go straight to the freezer and decide, what shall I have for dinner tonight, rather than thinking, I have to
Yeah.
run to the store.
Absolutely,
That's a nice perk.
absolutely. And it all comes from one animal, whereas sometimes, when you go to a store and you buy certain parts, it's coming from a set of animals as opposed to just one individual. It's 100% traceable back to the ranch through the BC Meats Quality Assurance program.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
So people can go online to sprucegoose.ca and see what they're looking at and maybe make an order. If you are interested in doing that, you are very much welcome to do so. Brody, lovely to have you on the show. Thank you for bringing in all this great stuff.
Problem. Thank you.
You're very welcome. We will take a quick break. More Midday in just a few minutes. Stay with us.